Good morning. Glad I got a chance to spend some time with you today. Hoping to be a blessing to you. Going through James, we continue to look in chapter 4. We get down around verse 13, 14, and 15. And James says, you say you're going to go to this city, you're going to do this, you're going to do that for a year, and that you're going to profit there. And then the next verse he says, this is what you say, but you don't realize that your life is so short. It's like a vapor that appears for a little bit and vanishes away. It's like on a cold day when you see your breath, and you see your breath for just a second and then it disappears. And what James is telling us that life is short, and before we know it, life is over with. And so the next verse he says, you ought to say that if it is God's willing that we will do this or that, if it's God's will. In other words, what James is telling us is to realize that life is short and how we live our life should be in accordance to God's will for our life. That we ought to do things in relation to what God wants us to do. That we are ready to meet the Lord at a moment's notice, because nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. I've preached messages for over 40 years, pastored for over 40 years. And there's been many a time that I've had a church member in the church on Sunday morning talking to them, and then before the week was over, I was preaching their funeral. Before you know it, life ends. And we need to live life in accordance to God's will. And if it's God's willing that He gives us another year, it's according to His sovereign grace. If He gives us another day, we ought to be thankful for that day. But we ought to live that day for the Lord. So let's remember that it is based on the Lord if we have another day or not. And we need to make the most of the day, and we need to be thankful for the day God's given to us. So if the Lord's given you another day today, you need to thank Him for the day He's blessed you with, because it truly is a gift from God. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.